Yo guys, what is going on? It is Invin here, and today what I am bringing to you guys is a really quick guide on a couple of things that you do not want to miss out on in New World after the May Arenas update. And these things are going to be crucial because they can make you a lot of money, but more importantly, they're going to be things that are going to really help you with your progression and with your gameplay, especially in terms of the crafting that you really need to be aware of. Now, jumping straight into it, the first thing here is the Gypsum Kiln. If you guys haven't looked into this since the update, you do want to get on to this one, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you will see this brand new tab here called Material Conversion. Now, what this does is essentially it allows you to create the raw, say like Constitution only, so the Iron Guardsman's insignia here. It is just Constitution only, and you can create these by adding in 5 of another one. So, for example, here we've got Constitution and Intelligence. If we put those 5 into this kiln here, it also costs you 20 of the Azoth, and then you can go ahead and click Craft, and you guys will see it is a 5-to-1 conversion ratio. However, if you do want to be able to use these in things like your crafting with your Timeless Shards, then this is a really, really good way to get it. Now, obviously, Iron Battle Medals, these are going to be a fan favourite. Something like you might have a lot of here, Boar Blood. This is where it is a strength and focus, so it's not going to be that regularly used together, especially with the changes to kind of how healing works now. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is click on that one. I'm going to convert all of those, and it's 41. That goes into 8. And obviously, you need the amount of Azoth, so this does give a pretty good use to Azoth. It's obviously going to be a little bit more expensive. And then you can go ahead and you can see there, that's 8 Iron Battle Medals. Now, another reason that this is really, really good is, of course, because the prices of these are a lot higher than most of the dual kind of suffix ones. So, for example, Constitution and Focus there. I'll show you guys on the trading post on my server, so you've got kind of a rough idea. So the first one here is the Boar Blood. This is at 12.85 per one. Whereas if we go ahead and go to the Iron Battle Medals, we'll might have to type in the whole thing here. These bad boys, you can see, are up to 38. Now, do be aware, obviously, you need 5 per one, so it is not currently worth buying them to transfer across, because obviously 12 times 5, you're going to be looking at around 60 gold to transfer into an item that's 40. However, if these do go back up in price, or on some servers, I know they are a lot more expensive, or like me, you already had a lot of those materials and it's not something you're going to craft with, I'm not going to be creating any strength focus pieces anytime in the near future. So getting rid of those in favor of the ones that I actually do craft with on a regular basis is a really, really good idea, and will be very helpful for me, as it's going to mean I'm going to need to do less of those in the future. Now, another thing here that's been changed kind of in this recent update is, of course, the Starmetal and Orichalcum nodes. We've increased the amount of them and decreased the respawn time to match that of iron. Now, obviously, that means you're going to have more Starmetal ingots and Orichalcum ingots, as well as the respective ores floating about. But this does open up a nice opportunity for things like Azerite chunks. Now, particularly like me, if you have a look at the top here, 134 armoring, pretty stinky. Need to get this up. And one of the best ways to do this is using kind of the off materials. So not using the Starmetal itself, but actually using the Azerite chunks. And if you are someone that's wanting to level these things up, this is going to be a really, really good way to do it, because these are actually selling for quite cheap. A lot of people are getting them more often now because they're mining more Starmetal, and it's the same obviously with the tier 5 alternatives as well. And then, of course, you can throw in things like your Rage Hide, which is pretty cheap, and then things like Shade Cloth, again, which is pretty cheap. I don't have any at this settlement, but it's only about 2 gold each for both of those, and then the Azerite chunks are about 4 gold each, as comparison to the Starmetal ingots, which are about 17 or 18 gold each on my server, and I would imagine they're going to be at least a lot more expensive than the Azerite on most servers. So do see if there is any cheap if you are trying to level up. That's something to keep an eye out for, because you can pick these up for a few gold each compared to, you know, 15 upwards gold each, and that can mean that you can level these trade skills up very, very nicely. And of course, if you guys are trying to build some of these end game things, like you're crafting an end game axe, you're obviously going to just want to use the best materials to get the best gear score. So obviously those are going to be the most expensive still, but it does mean the other ones are going to be less popular. So if you are trying to level up, once you first unlock, for example, the Orichalcum stuff here, for pretty much every tier up until this, you've got a decent alternative. But do be aware, once you do get here, Cinnabar, Tolvium, you can use it, and it might be cheaper to grab in some respects, but because of the amount of Orichalcum nodes there are now, you're probably just going to want to go ahead and grab that instead. However, see what the prices are like on your server, but this is another really, really good one just to keep an eye out for, and just just to check if you've got any like Azerite chunks going cheap on your market. Now, just another quick heads up for you guys, as a lot of returning players have jumped into the game now, or if you're not necessarily a quote-unquote returning player, but you're someone who hasn't really played much since the storage changes, do have a look in your banks, check the server prices. But one of the best things to do, if you click on the kind of 3 ingot tab here and go onto the craft mods section and filter it by most expensive, obviously, you know, they're not going to all be at this price. This is the most expensive version, but something like the sliver of consecrated iron here, this gives you the sacred perk when added as a craft mod to a piece, especially when doing it with a timeless shard. And essentially the cheapest version of this, if you then, you know, go ahead and search for ones that are at the top to check the cheapest, my server 6.8k for the cheapest one of these. So if you did have any of that sitting around in your bank and you're not going to use it yourself, or maybe if you are going to try and use it before you buy it, just check everywhere in your banks. Same with Drop of Ironwood Sap, this one is Thwarting Strikes. These two things are going to be pretty expensive and have been pretty expensive for a while. So if you are coming back to the game, or you haven't checked everything out since the storage updates, just have a quick look before you go ahead and try and buy some of these, because you might be able to save yourself a fair bit of money. For anyone that hasn't played since the storage changes, all you can do is go onto your storage shed in the current location, and that will show you this one. You can scroll up to any of the places around the entire map. If you, for example, if I put in iron, so that it would show me the ironwood sap if I've got it there. I don't actually have any because I've checked already for these ones, but if we go to, for example, Reekwater, you can see there that I can get the Iron Guardsman's Insignias, Iron Battle Medals, and you can simply drag those in. You guys know that I created 8, already had one, and just dropped one in there. So, yeah, pretty good. You can just move stuff around, so do check if you've got any of those craft mods as well, particularly if you're looking to make a nice bit of money. It can be pretty nice, and of course as well when you're getting these from drops now, a lot more people are doing elite runs and such, especially for the PvP quests and going for the Orichalcum and all that good stuff. Just be aware, if you get any of those drops, you could be in for a nice bit of cash. But that is going to be it for today's video, guys. Just a couple of quick things that I wanted to bring to your attention that I think are the top things to look out for in the update to New World here. They're going to be really important. They can make you a good bit of gold if you have got some of them, and like some of you may not have known about the conversion, which is pretty nice if you have already got a lot of craft mods saved up. Like myself, I've been playing since the beginning of the game, loads of stuff saved up, so you can put those together and make some of them into more useful craft mods, which is absolutely amazing. If you guys have enjoyed today's video, please do drop me a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any content. Both of those things hugely help to support me and my content here on YouTube, so I would really appreciate it. If you do want to go above and beyond just watching the videos, which is already a massive support to me, you can join the membership program here on the channel by clicking the join button. But other than that, guys, that is going to be it for today, so I will catch you again very shortly with a brand new upload. Thank you for your time, thank you for watching, and peace.